I want to thank the thousands of people who have liked and shared and passed on my video about Kendrick Lamar and the Super Bowl show, period. That's been nothing short of amazing. And the pushback that's happening all over this country and all over the world is also amazing. And I am eternally grateful because you see, even though I look like the poster boy for white privilege, because I look like a retired cop or truck driver, actually, I have been a revolutionary for virtually all of my life. I was a civil rights activist in the rural South in the 60s. I had a cross burned in my front yard when I was 18 for being an in lover. You can fill it in. When I was 21, I was with my African American godchildren at a swimming area in Lutz, Florida, and a bunch of the neighbors came over with shotgun and demanding that we get out or they were going to start shooting, and later dressed me down for almost an hour, humiliating, just horrible stuff. So, of course, I've been watching racism, racist activity for virtually all my life. It's different now in most places because people don't use the language anymore, but they still have the same attitudes, don't they? So let's talk about being a revolutionary, because if you're going to make a difference, it starts up here. Question the status quo. Question your own status quo and your own beliefs. I've been on this journey my whole life. I'm still learning, and I'm older than any of you can imagine because everyone tells me I look 20 years younger than I really am. Thank you, God, and my mother's great genetics. Anyway, but if nothing else, being a revolutionary keeps you young at heart, and that keeps your body young because you still have a reason to be productive and involved and engaged, and that's absolutely essential. So here's a few things. Start up here. Think about all the things in your life and what the consequences of them are, and let's start with where you spend your money. I don't grocery shop in corporate-owned grocery stores. Kroger, Ralph's, Food for Less, Albertsons, etc. If you live in the South, it would be Publix, and I don't even think Winn-Dixie's still around anymore, but you get the idea. No, 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 no. If it's owned by a corporation, most of that money is going for profits, not the employees, and we are all paying for it if you shop there. I do a lot of my shopping at Costco because they're an egalitarian company that treats their employees very well, which is why their stock is not that well rated on the Wall Street indexes. That's okay. They give the rest of us a really good deal, and the people who work there are happy. Gee, what a concept. But I also go to a little chain called Aldi, which is a German company. It's actually related to Trader Joe's. But Aldi's mission is to provide the best value to their customers. So their prices are literally about 30, sometimes 40% less than you'd pay for the same item, just with a nationally known name brand on it, in a regular grocery store. All their products are made by the same name brand people, but the prices are a lot better. If neither of those are available to you, consider spending your money in small, locally owned grocery stores. Ethnic grocery stores are wonderful because they're usually family owned and you're keeping your money in your community. What else? Since most of you own an automobile and put gasoline in the tank, did it ever occur to you where that money goes? Well, who do you think owns the petroleum industry? A bunch of conservative people who support people like Donald Trump and Elon Musk. So consider electrifying your transportation. You can now get a very good used electric vehicle for around $10,000 to $15,000. My brother and I both have Chevrolet Bolts. They're amazing cars. We've taken long trips in them. And yes, the charging infrastructure is viable and it's nationwide. In addition to using PlugShare to find all the other chargers, you can also reluctantly use a Tesla charger with an adapter. So you can travel, you can do whatever you want to do, Consider getting an electric car the next time you need to buy a car. In the meanwhile, let's talk about your house. If you own your house and have natural gas or propane appliances in it, consider converting over to all electric. Because again, when you buy a petroleum product, or really any fossil fuel like coal, whatever, who does that money go to? And what are they going to do with it? So you can directly impact where you spend your money and make a big difference. I'm not sure why this shadow is on my screen. Maybe it's just a reflection and it's not in this recording. Anyway, I apologize for the distraction. Another example, Coca-Cola and Lowe's and other companies pulled out of DEI, diversity, equity, and inclusion. Guess what? I shop at a Costco that's primarily black and Latino. Nobody's buying Coca-Cola anymore, but Pepsi is sold out. It's all these little things that add up that send a message to our corporate handlers that you're fed up. You don't have to be violent. You don't even have to march in the streets. But next time one of your neighbors is talking Trump trash, instead of being polite and ignoring it, speak up. Tell them you disagree, and it's not true if it's an out-and-out Fox News lie. But you've got to do it, because if you don't do it, who will? So, it's one of the things about being queer I'm most grateful for. I learned early on, if we didn't tell people who we were, only our enemies would. Well, this is a similar situation. So, decide what you want to do and then do it. But you can't keep living your life the way you've been living it, because that's how we got into this mess in the first place. Being polite, ignoring people who are saying stuff that you know is not true, all of that. That's not helping anybody or anything. It's just enabling the bullies who have taken over our government to keep bullying people. And most Americans have no idea what's going on in the rest of the world, but Europe is basically abandoning us. We've embarrassed ourselves to every country in the world. It just goes on, all because some orange clown promised everybody he was going to lower grocery prices. Well, not only is he not going to lower them, but by doing the mass deportation thing, all the people who plant, grow, harvest, and process our food, they're not going to work anymore because they're afraid of being picked up by ICE. It's real simple. When you live a life of hate and judgment, it's going to come back. And unfortunately, this is payback time for America, and all of us are going to suffer for the mistakes and deception of a few people who didn't bother to think about their lives and the ramifications of their decisions. So no more business as usual. Thanks for listening.